discussion and fracking and motions essentially demand the SSP revisits its energy policy. Because the one thing we can all agree on, none of us are in favour of power cuts. None of us are in favour of unreliable, intermittent electricity supply. That being the case, where does Scotland produce its electricity and gas from? Where does it produce its electricity? Currently today, Scotland produces its electricity from Lochana, coal-fired power station at Kincardine. We use gas and oil-fired power stations, and we have 2 nuclear power stations, one at Torness and one that's been decommissioned at Hunterston. And 30% of our energy, our electricity, comes from renewables, primarily wind turbines, which don't provide any electricity at all when it's no windy. And therefore, the Scottish Socialist Party has to address a couple of very important facts in this debate. We're against coal-powered fire stations. Rightly so, because they're the worst culprit of exacerbating climate change CO2 emissions. So we want to close down coal-fired power stations. Oil and gas produces CO2 emissions. We're against nuclear power stations. We want them to be closed down, not because of CO2 emissions, but because primarily they produce the toxic material that John was talking about. I went to Torness Power Station when I was an MSP, and every one of Britain's 13, there were 13 then, I think there's a lot more now, or certainly planning even more. Every single nuclear power station in Britain produces a double-deck bus size of nuclear waste materials every 3 months. It's put in a train and sent to Sellafield and buried a mile below ground, encased in concrete bunkers. That's primarily the reason we're against nuclear power, because it produces the ultimate toxic material for 1,000 years. But it brings us to a dilemma. We're against coal-powered fire stations. Coal-fired power stations. We're not that happy with oil and gas, and we're against nuclear. And renewable energy has not got past the opportunity to provide us with effective, continuous supplies of electricity. And therefore I think, I'm not speaking against these motions, but I think the party, as a grown-up party, has to start addressing certain facts. Where are we going to get the electricity that we need for our public-owned industries, transport and others? We've got to address these questions, and I've listened to many contributions from the branches about fracking, and they're good. But the truth of the matter is, all these forms of electricity produce dirty, dangerous conditions. It's dangerous and dirty getting oil in the North Sea. It's dangerous and dirty getting oil and coal and gas-fired power stations. And I think we have to address this policy. We also have to look at the fact that fracking in America, the United States of America, that we've seen repeatedly went to war for oil, is now a net exporter of oil. Why? Because its electricity and gas demands are provided by fracking in the North American continent. So there are very considerable issues for us to consider here. And I hope from the conference we can begin to look at an energy policy that makes sense and leaves us, where our spokesperson Sandra and I able to say where our electricity and gas is going to be produced from in future. Thank you.
Mark Hopkinson, again from the Stirling branch. I've actually done quite a bit of studying on this at university. I did a number of green politics courses. Fracking is a terrible way of producing energy. It's got one of those... It's got the lowest return on investment for energy production out of any form of producing energy. Be that coal, be that renewables, be that nuclear. It's terrible, and the only reason that it's a tool being pushed is profit for the large industries. It doesn't matter if we tighten up engineering, it's still a bad process. It doesn't matter if we do all these other things. Profit's still going to capitalist companies. We need to push an actual solution to this, a proper solution to this. We need to push renewables. We could increase jobs in renewable manufacturing. As you say, we've got the largest supply of wind and wave energy in the whole of Europe. Our manufacturing base could be based on that, producing turbines, producing wave technology to actually produce jobs and push our economy forward, whilst producing a clean source of energy, not fracking. I'm sorry, it's a terrible idea.
Idea of what I call what Conrad said there. we use 600 different types of carcinogenic chemicals that fire into the ground. But chemicals don't disappear. It's going to go somewhere, it's going to come back up, it's going to go in the aquifers, it's going to go in your food, it's going to go in the walks. It's a terrible idea, it's going to poison us all. No matter how many reassurances these capitalists can come in with, oh, it's going to be good for the economy. It's not going to be good for the economy. It's not cost efficient. We use more energy. Trying to keep getting gas and capture gas, and obviously the whole transport costs for the pound. Understand as well, coal, oil, nuclear power, it's not clean. It does leave a lot of poison. It does poison our planet. We need to start looking at alternatives. I'll give you one alternative here. Why don't we start putting solar panels and photovoltaic panels on the roof of every house? Not only then, we create a clean source of energy, generating electricity and something that we can put back into the grid. I'm sure that the end fuel poverty, without having to use fat, without having to use oil, or without having to use nuclear power,